Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to another podcast. It is Thursday, May 7th, and today I have another story for you guys. But first of all, I hope you're all doing well. I hope that you're going outside. Like, it's so nice out. It's so nice out recently. Go outside. If you haven't been outside, go outside. Looking at you. I know the inner walls of your house have no bugs in them, but you need what's called vitamin D from the sun. So you should go outside. So I have a story for you. And it's a story that I think you can relate to. And then we're going to look at some scripture that puts it to a more spiritual sense. So I am what I call I'm trying to think of a nice term for it. I'm a starter of things. So I start things and then I don't necessarily finish them because either someone doesn't help me with it or I'm not sure how to finish and I just didn't have the drive or I just, didn't really want to do the thing in the first place. And one of those things can be, not always, but can be reading books. And we've had some isolation time for like a month and I had all these grandiose ideas of how many books I was going to read. It was going to be like 15 or something. And then I decided to read a really big one. So it's War and Peace by Tolstoy. Let's look here, like 1,200 pages at least. 1,200 pages. And I thought I was going to be done with this by now. Because look at this. I read fast. But I'm only about 350 pages into it, so I have still I'm like a fourth done. And I thought for sure I'm going to read every night. I'm going to read like an hour every night. And then an app was introduced to me called TikTok. And those plans went out the window. Although I truly wanted to read. And I wanted to want to read too. I had both those things in there. But I did the thing that I didn't want to do. I went on my phone instead. TikTok and then also YouTube. And that's a frustrating thing where it's like I really just want to read the book. I want to read it so badly. But my phone's out and it just buzzed. And now that I answered back my mom's text, I think I need to check YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok for a little bit, and then sooner than later, I realized, oh my gosh, I've been on my phone an hour. And that's such a frustrating thing, and it can be whatever it is in your life. For lots of things, I had these plans of like going to the gym, and it was great because I had those plans for a while, and then I finally succeeded in those, and I went to the gym consistently, and then the shutdown happened, and all the gyms are shut, and I lost my rhythm, which is frustrating. But in a spiritual life, in a spiritual sense, in our Christian walks, has this happened to you? Have you done something that you know that you shouldn't have done, and you feel bad about it, but then you do it again later? So I'm going to be in Romans today, Romans 7. I'm going to read 7 verses to you. So Romans 7, 13 through 20. So let me read this to you, and we're going to talk about it. So this is Paul writing. He says, and this is one of the hardest ones for me to read because I have to go very slowly. Did that which is good then bring death to me? But I know it was sin producing death in me through what is good, in order that sin might be shown to be sin, and through the commandment might be sinful beyond measure. Okay. So, for we know that the law is spiritual, but I am of the flesh, sold under sin. For I do not understand my own actions, for I do not do what I want, but I do the very thing I hate. Saying, I don't not sin, I sin instead. Now, if I do what I do not want, I agree with the law that is good. So now it is no longer I who do it, but the sin that dwells within me. For I know that nothing good dwells in me, that is, in my flesh. For I have the desire to do what is right, but not the ability to carry it out. For I do not do the good I want, but the evil I do not want is what I keep on doing. So that's the main verse. So 18 and 19. For I know that nothing good dwells in me, that's in my flesh, my sinful nature. For I have the desire to do what is right, but not the ability to carry it out. For I do not do the good I want. I don't do the good things I want. But the evil I do not want is what I keep on doing. And I feel like that's so relatable, isn't it? Okay, I'll give an example. So one time, I lied. And I knew I shouldn't have lied. But I kept lying about it. And some of you have heard this story. When I was younger, I took a pair of shoes and threw them over telephone lines. Not something that, a 5-year-old should do. And my dad asked me a question. He's like, did you do that? The answer was yes. Yes, I should have answered yes. The good thing that I wanted to answer is yes. I wanted to be honest. I wanted to tell the truth, but I didn't want to get in trouble because who does that and doesn't get in trouble? And so I said, no, Anthony did it. And my dad looked at me and he said, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Even though in my head, I'm like, no, it's totally me. Totally me. And I wanted to say the answer, but now I lied and I got to stick to it and be stubborn about it. And so I'm just like, yeah, Anthony totally did it. And in my mind, I'm like, no, I did it. But I'm scared of getting in trouble. And he said, okay, I'm going to go talk to Anthony. And he walked down to Anthony's house. I forgot to mention that Anthony had been in our house for like a month or however long, 2 weeks. And he goes and asks Anthony, like, Anthony, did you do this? And he's like, no, I didn't. And he's like, okay, I thought so. And walks back to me. And he says, Seth, I'll give you one more chance. Did you do this? And I should have been like, yes. That's the good. That's the good I want to do. Yes, I totally did that thing. Absolutely. But no, my dumb younger self had to say, no, it was Anthony. And I got the punishment I totally deserved at that point. But has that been something for you? Have you done something like that? Is that relatable to you? Maybe it's angry. You're getting angry all the time and you say things in anger that you don't mean, but then you get angry again and you say things again. Maybe it's lying like I did, where it's like, I don't want to get in trouble. So no, if I can lie and get out of it, sure. It's such an interesting thing. And I love that Paul says it because a lot of times, at least in my own life, I can feel kind of down. Like, why am I struggling with anger? Why am I struggling with this? And why am I acting on it? And Paul shows that he struggled with stuff too, which makes it a way more relatable thing. Now, should we go ahead and sin anyways? Because then we'll get grace in the end? He says no. And I say no. But during this time of isolation, you are in close proximity with your families in particular. Very close proximities. They never seem to leave the house because they're not supposed to leave the house for the most part. In that, is there anything that is good that you know that you should do, but you aren't doing? Is there some service that you should give your family that you know you should do? You know it would help things out, but you're not doing for some reason. And so it comes back to this idea of what does it mean to be a Christian with your family? What does it mean? And it comes back to this concept of service and living for Christ in all things. And my challenge for you is this. We know what we ought to be doing, right? And a lot of times we don't do it for whatever reason. But my challenge is in this time of isolation and in this close proximity with your family and people that are around you, there are things that you know that you can do to be like Christ to them. And my challenge for you is to go do it. Go do it. Go be like Christ to them. Don't be in the spot where it's like, I don't do the things I want to do. I don't read this book. I don't like get my things done. But be like Christ. Go be like Christ to people and say, I did the good that Jesus put for me today. And that is a great thing to do daily. I hope you're all doing well. Make sure you get outside. Get outside. It's super nice. We're going to be switching to these one a week. They're going to be a little bit more. And hopefully next week, I will have a special guest with me. But I hope you're all doing well. This week, go be like Christ. Go do the things and the good things that you know that you're supposed to do. And we'll see you next week, guys.